adults do. A study conducted at the University of Southern California School of Medicine and the University of North Carolina found children who ate hot dogs once a week, they doubled their chances of developing brain tumors. So it's really, really important that if your children are going to have hot dogs, that they are all beef. What parts they come from. My oldest one worked at a packing house one time, and I'm really just not going to repeat what he said are all the components that make those hot dogs. So if you're getting hot dogs for 98 cents a package, you will get what you pay for. If you buy the all-natural, all-beef, and they cost $6 for the package, I'm sorry, you really need to buy the $6 package if your little ones want the hot dogs. Because here we have university studies that have this documented in their research of children that eat hot dogs at least once a week had doubled their chances of developing brain tumors. Children who consume 12 or more hot dogs a month, 12 or more, a dozen or more hot dogs a month. No hot dogs in the mac and cheese. Mac and cheese, other European countries don't even allow macaroni and cheese to be exported out of our country and sold in their country. They don't buy it. It's not on their store shelves. So children who eat a dozen or more hot dogs a month, they have a 9 times the risk of contracting childhood leukemia. So in these preservatives of that are nitrites, which is a chemical preservative added to hot dogs and other cured meats. Seems to be one of the strong culprits. The body converts nitrates to chemical compounds called nitrosamines. Foods that have these preservatives include bacon, sausage, salami, bologna, corned beef. Other suspected contributing factors for cancer that was reported in the Journal of American Medicine, the JAMA, says that it's the other contributing factors reported by JAMA is contaminated polio vaccines. So isn't that amazing that JAMA would report on the contamination of polio vaccines given routinely 3 or 4 decades ago led to a lot of childhood cancers. Between 1955 and 1963, large batches of polio vaccine were inadvertently contaminated with a monkey virus called Simian virus 40, SV40, which was found to cause cancer in laboratory animals. Scientists thought that there was no risk to humans, but recently research discovered the evidence that the SV40, they discovered SV40 in tissue samples from people who were stricken with rare childhood brain tumors as well as bone and abdominal cancers. Now, one of the things also with cancer is the emotional needs. How a person deals with their stressors will inevitably affect their immune system and their resistance to illnesses. Many recent studies have been shown that those with weakened immune systems are more susceptible to serious sicknesses and disease. For example, one study revealed that women with breast cancer had a greater incidence of emotional traumas, usually 5 to 10 years prior to the onset of the cancer. For those who have cancer, feelings of despair or hopelessness are common and can worsen with their condition. Giving emotional support to cancer patients can only improve their physical condition. I had an inoperable malignant tumor in my liver, And in 3 to 4 weeks, I killed that tumor. And that was by, high alkaline diet. The first thing I did, though, was went into my room and, had a talk with my Lord. And when I came out of there, I had the overcome and defeat attitude. And that is certainly what I did. But I was absolutely meticulous about what I was drinking, juicing, nutritional supplements, plenty of nutritional supplements. But a lot of stress going on for the last, probably the last 8 years. And it has been, at times, very overwhelming. And I know that had a lot to do, ultimately, with what my diagnosis was. One thing I want to, we used to hear about this a lot, and for alternative healing for cancer. We used to hear about it a lot in the 90s, and we don't hear too much about it, but the nutritional supplements are still out there. It's shark cartilage. Sharks don't get cancer. Sharks, they are extremely strong, fast, and they are disease resistant. Information on the healthy state of the shark has led some to look further. The shark has an amazingly potent immune system. It has circulating antibodies that attack quickly when an invading element threatens its health. This extremely efficient immune system also works to promote rapid healing and prevention from infection. The cartilage of the shark is thought to be the key to its incredible health. The shark is mainly composed of cartilage. Shark cartilage is a combination of proteins and complex carbohydrates called mucopolysaccharides. During the study of sharks, one anomaly kept reappearing. Sharks have a very low incidence of cancer development. Sharks have a very low, with this low incidence of cancer development, there seems to be biochemicals in the shark cartilage that inhibit the growth of tumors, even when sharks are exposed to carcinogens. One study following sharks for 10 years at the Marine Laboratory, Marine Laboratory in Sarasota, Florida. The sharks exposed to high doses of carcinogenic elements never developed tumors. It's thought that these antibodies circulating throughout the shark are able to keep invaders from affecting the immune system. Shark cartilage is a natural supplement. It helps to destroy and prevent tumors by preventing the creation of blood vessels. See, it's these blood vessels that nurture and sustain the tumor growth. It seems to actually cut off the tumor blood flow without destroying healthy tissue. So when it shuts down that blood flow, it starves the tumor, and the tumor dies. It's always much better to deal with trying to kill. What I always said is we look at it in holistic healing as where the cancer originates, and if it's a tumor, that first one there is the mother tumor. You don't want to, if it's been there a while, you don't really want to go removing that tumor surgically, because you need to, from the standpoint of how I've been educated, and in 37 years, how I have approached this and put together nutritional programs for people, is to focus on shutting down the blood supply flow and the nutrient flow to that tumor. When you're successful in shutting down that tumor, what happens then is any little receptors that have gone off to other areas of the body, those die. If you remove that tumor, 9 times out of 10, what ends up happening is those receptor sites where that has traveled off to ends up, then you end up having tumors popping up everywhere. So it's extremely important to work from a standpoint of foods and nutritional supplements and alkaline water, change that acid environment, get you up into an alkaline, feed the immune system. We went through some of those things last week. Even if you have an autoimmune disease, there's foods that are needed to feed the immune system. Those are those cruciferous vegetables. And cruciferous vegetables, the flowers on them actually look like little crosses. And that's where they got the term cruciferous. It's for the crucifix. Those foods are the strongest foods for the immune system. Broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, garlic, onions. Those are the cruciferous family, and they're all extremely high in natural occurring biochemical sulfur. So if you're allergic to sulfa medicine, which is inorganic, and you take in natural biochemical sulfur, usually people who are allergic to sulfa drugs, they are not allergic to high sulfur foods. The other thing is with shark cartilage, with it cutting off the tumor blood flow without destroying healthy tissue, they've also seen promises of research that's very promising in tumors that develop through radiation and other tumors that popped up due to chemotherapy. Chemotherapy is extremely hard on the body, and it can destroy healthy tissue as well as the cancerous tissue. I cannot be a naturopath. I never tell someone that, they have to do something specifically. What is very important is pointing people in the right direction where they can do their research, they can find out educate themselves, figure out specifically what they want to do. The thing is fear. Do not allow fear in. When we become afraid, we make wrong decisions. And that is one thing that I do have to say. When I was dealing with my liver tumor, I know what I know is the truth. I know what I've seen in 37 years. Chemotherapy was absolutely not an option. There was absolutely no way would I expose my body to that. I have very strong faith, very, very strong faith, and that is where, number one, that is where I stood. That is where my foundation stood. Knowing what I needed to do, I can tell you honestly, never, not once, ever did I have fear come in. Fear never, ever came in. I knew that I would overcome it, and I would do it in record time, and that is something that I did. There have been animal studies with mice involving giving them different types of toxins that produce cancers. Half of the mice were given nothing, while other mice were given shark cartilage. After 3 weeks, any of the mice that had tumors that were given the shark cartilage it was either completely gone or the tumor size were greatly decreased. The ones that were given nothing, the tumors continued to grow. There have been studies in Mexico on human cancer patients that have showed positive results. Types of cancers varied, but the results were given positive in 8 patients. Following 7 of the 8 patients had a reduction in the tumor size of 30 to 100%. And that was with administering shark cartilage. These typically types of cancers that they use this with had to do with solid tumor masses that required a sufficient blood supply through the vessels Typically, these types of cancers